I'm David from Presto. It's time for the blues in the key of C on the piano. Could there be anything more exciting? Here we go. In this exercise, we're going to learn a very simple right hand blues pattern that'll be based on this basic kind of shape. A triad of the chord that you're on. So if in the first instance we're talking about a left hand pattern of C, so a triad of that chord. Notice I'm playing with fingers 1, 2 and 4. You'll see more on that why in a second. And then we're going to go to 1, 2, 4 again for a chord of F. And notice that chord of F there, C, F, A in the right hand. And then this little C7 shape, but without the third there. There's no major third in that particular pattern. And here I've got the root, the fifth, and the flat and seventh, giving us a basic C7 shape, as I say, but without the third, and then back to that F shape. So what's happening is I've got a chord of C, move the top two notes up, move the top two notes up again, but I'm playing it with a G and a B flat with fingers 3 and 5, and then back to that F shape. And the reason that I was going for fingers 1, 2 and 4 at first was because I'm going to slide from the minor third or the flattened third to the major third. Got that kind of shape going on. And for these grace notes, or acciaccatura as they're sometimes called, but these grace notes or crushed notes, I'm actually aiming for the E. That's the note that I actually want the strength on. That's the note that I want the power and the emphasis on. That's the one I want to be able to hear. I just catch that on the way to it. I just catch the E flat on the way to the E natural. So I end up with, and then if I'm just going straight to that chord, then 1, 3 and 5 works very well. Or if I actually want to put the grace note little idea in again off that raised fourth note, like that, then you might find it comfier doing that 1, 2 and 4 as well. 1, 2, 4, perhaps 1, 3, 5 maybe. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. So you can see that there's finger variations in there depending on whether you're going to put these little grace notes in or not. Now, how would that work with the pattern? Well, I'm going to play the chord of C in the right hand first, and then when I go to root and sixth in the left hand, you can see here now I've got the root and sixth of a chord of C, which is some of the notes. Now notice here, guys, I'm tucking my fingers out of the way so that you can see a little bit better. Don't you go playing the piano look like that. You're like some kind of weird broken lobster or something. That's not good. So there you can see I've got the basic shape of a chord of F going on here, but it's still with a C in the bass. Now this is used an awful lot in rock and pop, especially with such great pianists such as Elton John, who for example would use those little figures, those little ideas, which is like playing a chord and then going to the fourth chord of that scale, but over the same bass note. So that's the little figure that we hear an awful lot in Elton John's playing, for example. And we're using that, or rather he uses it from the blues idea of this. And then to there, that third little shape that we learnt when we are using back to the fifth. So it goes root and fifth, root and sixth, back to the root and fifth, but up to that C7 kind of shape up here in the right hand, and then back to the F shape. So it's C, and then like that F over C pattern, that C7 shape, back to the F. So we got so you practice this round and round, so you're happy with it. Now we do the exact same thing but on a chord of F. So we've got F to there, that shape, that's actually a chord of B flat there, B flat, D and F, or from the bottom, F, B flat and D. And then to there, which is our F7 shape, the same kind of shape as we had in the key of C, but now just everything moved up to F. And then back to C. to G now. Here I've got the flattened 7th of a G scale. The scale of G actually has an F sharp in it, but we're flattening it just like we did for the chord of C. You know, for when we did the C, we had that B flat. When we had F, we had the flattened 7th of an F scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 7th note of an F scale, but we flattened it. There's the F. And for G, let's try that now with the track. The next variation on that, same kind of thing, but perhaps backwards now. So if we start up at the top at this C7 kind of position, this 5th and flattened 7th there, and if we play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Try that round and round, and then once you're happy with that, you could do the same thing on an F. Same again. Let's try that now with the track. So as we can see, that pattern is a 2-bar phrase. What that means is it takes 2 bars to go through it, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, bar 2, 2, 3, 4. As you can see there, it takes 2 bars to get through it. So towards the end of the 12-bar sequence, when there's only 1 chord, 1 bar of G and 1 bar of F, that means that our pattern, that for a chord of G would go, but that's 2 bars long, but we've only got 1 bar on G, so we'll have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finish the pattern off on the F. So we start the pattern on G and finish it nicely on the chord of F.